I was going to actually bring up MLB The Show and asked if you
Oh,
had been playing
segue.
that game and its
I do have it. I've
terrible
been playing it. It's
trade.
not great.
I haven't bought it. I have not even thought about it. I don't plan on buying it. That's that. But speaking of video
That's your
games,
number one pick?
No. Speaking of video games, I'm sure you didn't make it out to the theater this past weekend, but a certain video game
Broke some records.
certain video game company decided they were going to release a movie for the first time in theaters in like 20 some years after the first one was terrible. And to the surprise of no one, it is doing phenomenally well at the box office. The Super Mario Bros. Movie made over $300 million in its first weekend, which is just crazy. I saw the movie. It was fine. It is great for children.
I was gonna say, Logan contributed about $300 of that $300 million to it.
No, I contributed like $9. It is a great movie for children. It has absolutely nothing in it for adults other than the dose of nostalgia you're going to get for 90 minutes, but that is fine. That is not why I'm here to talk about it, but I am using this as a transition to talk about our top 5 today. Top 5 favorite or top 5 best, top 5, I don't know, top 5 sports video games. Top 5
franchises.
Sports video games. Yes. So what we're going to do is we're going to draft them again like we did last week. And so we're not going to pick multiple franchises. So like we can't pick if Craig picks Madden 15,
Tip and picks.
I can't pick another Madden game, and neither can he. So as soon as Madden is off the board, it's gone. As soon as MLB The Show is off the board, any year of MLB The Show, it's gone.
So are you picking like specific years in that case?
Yes.
Because I just have the franchises ranked.
It doesn't matter. We can do it however you want. I can wing it. I had certain years on mine, but I can do it that way. Okay. It doesn't matter.
We'll each do it our own way. I just don't have specific years. So when I make a pick, I'm picking the franchise instead of.
That's fair. That's fine. That's fine.
Instead of Super Mario Brothers 2016, I'm just picking the Super Mario Brothers franchise. That's my example.
Just got
because I don't take picks on this show.
Just got an update from my father. Tonight's the Coaches versus Cancer event in Gordyville near Champaign. Brad Underwood's there, has Tom Izzo there. I think Fran's there. I don't remember who else is there. But I just got a text from Tim. Walked in with Tom Izzo. He looked confused as to why he was in the middle of a cornfield. So that's the update from Gordyville. All right. So let's do this.
I always like that. I covered that a couple times. I did a live interview with Brad a couple times there. That was cool.
Well, it's a great event, and they're hosting it tonight. My father is there. All right. Top 5 sports video games. Craig, you can go ahead and start. What's your number one pick?
NCAA football.
Okay.
Haven't had it in a decade. I believe it's coming back next year. Or is it 2 years now? I got delayed.
It got delayed.
NCAA football. I mean, it's there's a clear 1-2 to me, and this was a clear 1. I still play it. I got Christy's old PS3 that College Football Revamped has made a download for, and they keep the rosters and the uniforms updated. I still play it every fall and every summer. And it's 10 years old. There was not a flaw in that game. The Dynasty mode is electric. In college, actually, at Creekside, 4 apartments on each level. There was a Pinckneyville apartment, a DuQuoin, a Nashville, and a Chester. And us and the Nashville and Chester guys, there was 9 of us. We each did we had one dynasty together. So I'd be getting texts like in class, like, hey, what time do you get out of class? You need to play your game so we can advance the week. I'm like, okay, dude, you guys got a couple hours. They're like, okay, can we sim your game? No, you can't sim my game. It can't be beat. In my mind, it's the best video game franchise of all time.
That's a great pick. I think this is going to be interesting because I think you have a very obvious one in number 2, and I don't think I'm going to pick it.
Okay.
Because
I might know where you're gonna go.
This is tough now because this is not exactly the way that I had prepared, and I'm trying to decide if I want to do this. All right, I will do it. I wasn't going to. I will take Madden. I haven't played a Madden game
Oh,
in 5 years. But the run of Madden games from like 2002 to 2000 and I don't know, 12, 13. I
yeah,
mean, I owned every game. I played every year, just like
yeah,
every other millennial male growing up in the 90s and 2000s. I owned every version of Madden. While it's probably not my favorite, especially now at this point in my life, I can't deny it. It
yep,
is the top choice here, so I
yep.
will take Madden. If I was going to take
Okay,
a
so
particular version of Madden, which is how I was originally going to do this, it would have been either '04 or '05. Those were the
Michael
two
Vick.
best years of Madden. Yes, Michael Vick and Ray Lewis. So there you go.
Yep,
I will take Madden.
yep, yep. That was my 1-2. So the question is, do I go football again here, or do I switch? Because there's another football franchise that I think is pretty top tier here. But I think I'm going to switch and go a different sport. And I'm going to go MVP baseball.
Yes,
Not
that is
MLB the show. MVP
that is the
baseball
correct pick.
had, is it, did they have more than two? I feel like they only had like two really good years. Like 03,
Well,
04 or 04, 05?
04, 05 were the two good years.
Okay.
Full transparency, MVP baseball 2005 was my number one overall pick in this the way that I had originally blocked this out. I changed that
Gotcha.
so that I would have Madden. But yes, MVP baseball 2004 and 2005 I think are two of the best sports video games ever. Everybody says 2005, which is fine. The Manny Ramirez cover.
Yeah,
I
that's
really
what I'm
loved
thinking of.
'04
Pujols.
with Pujols on the cover.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
soundtrack to MLB Baseball 2004
All American Rejects, Swing Swing.
still plays in my head on loop. I
Yeah.
played that
Yeah.
game so much, and I loved every second of it. So that is a great
There's a
pick.
song by the Dropkick Murphys, maybe? Jesse, I
Tessie.
think is the song.
Tessie is on
Tessie.
05.
Tessie, yeah.
Tessie is
Yep.
on 05. Yep.
You can't forget though, they did a college version of
Yes.
MVP baseball that was
Yes.
awesome. That
That's
was very sweet.
Yes, that is on my long list. After EA lost the rights to Major League Baseball, they made a college version of it for like 2 or 3 years, and that
Yeah.
game was phenomenal as well. I loved that version too.
Yep.
Okay, where do I go from here? I have a sentimental pick. I have two sentimental picks, and I have a smart pick. And I don't know what I should do. I think I'm going to go with a smart pick, and I'm just going to go with longevity, and I'm going to take NBA 2K.
Oh.
The NBA 2K run, I think NBA 2K 11 with Michael Jordan, with the Jordan Challenge or whatever they did, was a fantastic basketball game. I mean, I loved the NBA Live franchise, and might be tipping picks. One of us might take that, but I loved that franchise as a kid. But the evolution to the 2K franchise, and I mean, it's obviously still going. They're still great games, but there was a run in there in like the early mid 2010s where that game was top of the line. So I might regret this choice, but I think it is overall one of the best at this point. So I will take NBA 2K. Go ahead and make me regret
it. I'm not going to, but I am going to go with one. I don't know. Should I not? I don't think I'm going to do that yet. I'll get my NBA in here. I was an NBA Live guy. I liked until Live went away.
Yeah,
I liked NBA Live more than 2K, so I'm going to take NBA Live here.
I agree. I'm with you. That's
obviously
fair.
now I play 2K because I think Live came back, but it wasn't very good. So now I'm a 2K guy. But growing up, I was an NBA Live. Jason Kidd on the cover, I believe, of one that was awesome. Maybe Vince Carter too. But that was my NBA franchise. So I'm going to go with NBA Live because I think I can get another one of my picks that I want here in the next two. So.
That was mine as well. NBA Live was mine growing up. I had before we had a we had a Nintendo 64, but before we got our PlayStation, I had a version on the PC that I played, and I had like a controller, and our computer at our house was set up in our kitchen, and I just remember sitting there in our kitchen playing NBA Live on the computer. I think I dropped like 80 some points with Jerry Stackhouse in a game. I'll never forget that. The 2005 version with Carmelo Anthony, when they included the dunk contest.
Yes.
I did that dunk contest for hours and hours and hours.
What was your go-to dunk? Because I had one go-to dunk. It was the double between the legs. You did he did like a figure 8 in the air. It was a 50 every time, and I nailed it every time. Yeah, I'm waiting for someone to do that in real life.
I loved NBA Live. I think 2K at this point has surpassed it in terms of quality, but I agree with you. From a nostalgic standpoint, I was a NBA Live guy for sure. Okay, I'm going to take a sentimental pick here. I don't know where you stand on it. I'm taking backyard baseball.
I knew it. It's on my list. But I knew.
I loved backyard baseball. Admittedly, in my adult life, I've even found ways to download and play backyard baseball on my computer. I loved that game so much. Backyard baseball 2003, I think, with Mike Piazza was on the cover of that one. The backyard games in general were cool for kids, but the baseball game was so much better, I think, than the others. I loved
Sanchez,
it.
Best video game character of all time. Sports video game character.
I agree.
Other than was it Ed Dowd? John Dowd. John Dowd. I said Ed. Yeah. Barry
John
Bonds.
Dowd and Reggie Stalker was his name on the was it on the show? Was he John Dowd on MVP and he was Reggie Stalker on the show, I think. But anyway, backyard baseball is my third pick. All right, you got 2 picks left. I got 2 picks left. What you going with?
Okay. I don't want to take the chance of not getting this. So I think I can get it at 5, but I'm scared you might take it before me. I'm going to take Tiger Woods PGA Tour.
That's fine. You can have Tiger.
Or you weren't going to take him? You weren't going to take this?
I had a few others that I would have taken before it. But that's fine. It's a great game. I didn't play it as much, but we definitely owned a couple versions of it, I believe. I know I definitely played it. It was good. Tiger Woods PGA was
I was just game. Worried. I was worried that you might snag it in front of me. I had 2 on my list, but I would stay up. I would go get it at midnight when it came out, and I would stay up for like 4 days straight playing it and wouldn't stop playing it until the next game, whatever it was, came out.
It's a great pick. Great pick. Okay.
How many more do you have left on your list?
Quite a few. But I have 3 right now that I want. I have 3 that I want, so I'm only going to end up with 2 of them, hopefully. I just got to decide which one I want to take. I will go with NBA Street. NBA Street Volume 2 in particular. Love that game. So, oh my God, NBA Street was fantastic. It had a counterpart for a different sport that we might touch on here in a second. But NBA Street Volume 2, I think, is honestly one of the best video games of that generation, that console generation ever. Yeah. The introduction of some of those street ball players, you could unlock them, play with them. Like, it was so much fun. I loved NBA Street Volume 2. I played so much of that game. That's easy for me. I'll go with that. You got one left. I got one left.
I'm not taking it, so I'm going to talk about it because you can take it if you want. Was this NFL Street? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Was there an NFL version? That one I played. I don't know that I played NBA Street, but I played the NFL where you could like beat the people up and all that stuff.
Played a lot of that too. NFL Street Volume 2 as well for NFL was also a great version. Still, I've played that fairly recently on our PlayStation 2 or something. My brother had it a couple years ago. I remember playing it. I loved that game as well. I always remember I would make myself, and I always had a red like afro, and
Of
I
course you
was
did.
just great. I was excellent. But yeah, NFL Street as well is a great pick. All right, go ahead. What's your last one?
The foosball, FIFA.
Mm-hmm.
The FIFA
That's
franchise
safe.
it's very safe. Yes, it's consistent. It's good every year. I've gotten it more now that I actually watch Premier League and I watch soccer, so I've gotten it a couple times, and it always delivers. It rarely can you go wrong playing FIFA. So I'm gonna take FIFA with my fifth pick.
Yep, that's good. I was debating taking NFL Street as my fifth pick, but I'm going to pivot and take a real, actual sentimental pick. I own this game on Nintendo 64. My brothers and I played it religiously. It was fun that we were able to play with a
I'm
certain
worried that
family
you thought
friend
of
of
one that I
ours,
didn't.
Ken Griffey Jr. Baseball.
Oh yeah, I don't think I ever played
Was
that.
we had that game on N64 and played it so much. I loved that game. Looking back on it, obviously Nintendo 64 wasn't as crisp as a game as some of its later versions, but that was one that we played a lot. It was fun to play as Darren Fletcher. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was just a fun game. That's a sentimental pick. It probably isn't one of the best, but that's one that we played quite often. So yeah, I think that's it. You have 5. You want to go ahead and recap your 5?
Yeah. NCAA football, MVP baseball, NBA Live, Tiger Woods PGA Tour, and FIFA.
And I took Madden, NBA 2K, Backyard Baseball, NBA Street, and Ken Griffey Jr. Baseball. You got some
Our
honorable
lists are
mentions?
quite different.
Yes.
Our lists are quite different. Yours are
I
pretty,
wondered how
like,
they would be.
a little obscure, and I took like the Blue Bloods.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. I mean, you had your top 3 picks are all ones that I definitely would have considered. The bottom 2 I just didn't play as much. I just didn't play FIFA, or I definitely played both of them. I just didn't play them nearly as much.
Yeah.
But the 5 I picked are ones that I played all the time.
The only
Honorable
3 on
mentions?
my that we didn't pick. NFL 2K rivaled Madden there for a couple years.
Yes. Yep, I agree.
They
I
were
was
the
going to mention
first
that.
one to kind of do the off the field stuff where you could like have your house and you could buy memorabilia for your house and you could switch the camera view to like in the helmet. I remember like in 2K5 with Terrell Owens, you could switch it to that so you could like see the field and all that. That was really close to being picked for me. And then PGA 2K, they started that a couple years ago, and it's awesome. You can build courses. Like it just looks obviously more realistic. And because we went without a golf video game for a number of years after the Tiger incident and EA dropped him. And then the other one that we played religiously, like my junior and senior year of high school, and maybe that first year when I was at community college, my buddy's house, we would spend hours and hours and stay up till 3 a.m. playing the UFC video game.
Oh yeah, that was a good one too. Yep.
It had Brock Lesnar and Anderson Silva, and we would have like tournaments and round robins and just beat the crap out of each other with these UFC fighters. And I just bought the new one a couple of months ago, and I played it, and I was like, oh, it brought back so many like memories of sitting in the basement.
That's awesome.
Was
Yeah,
so
that's a
much
good game.
fun.
Yep, that's a good game. So you mentioned in NFL 2K, had we picked, like I was originally thinking, individual games, I would have picked NFL 2K5 ahead of any of the Madden games. I think that is the best for your money because it was cheap
I would
too.
agree with you.
I remember it was like significantly cheaper than Madden, and it was a better game. That particular version. Now they eventually EA got all the rights or whatever, and Madden lived on and TK died. But I think that as an individual game was better than any Madden game we've ever had. So I would have taken that one ahead. But I think Madden overall obviously was better. I mentioned NFL Street was one I was thinking. NBA Jam. That's obviously a classic one that I played quite a bit on a couple different consoles. Neither of us mentioned
The
MLB
March
The Show.
Madness game. No.
Yes,
No.
which I have still. The NCAA basketball
Yeah.
game. I still play that from time to
Yeah.
time, but it did not age very well.
No.
They had the ESPN had a 2K college hoops game that was pretty good as well.
Oh
And
yeah,
then,
I forgot about that.
yeah, it was a pretty good game.
Yeah.
And then the Tony Hawk and SSX
Oh
Tricky
yeah.
were two games that I played quite a bit. I think I even have a Tony Hawk game on my PlayStation right now that I've dabbled in from time to time. So that's cool. That was fun. Good talk. Okay.
NFL 2K5 got a 9.3 out of 10 from IGN.
It was a great game. That's
Madden
what
05 got 9.5 out of 10.
2005 was, I think 2005 might have been the peak of sports video games, because that was maybe it's just
MVP,
because that was
NFL 2K,
maybe this
Madden.
is we're just biased, I guess. I don't know, but I mean 2005 we just talked about, that was the best year I think for the college basketball games. I think that was the best year for the NFL games, baseball, MVP baseball 05. I don't know, maybe that was just we were the right age, but I feel like they were also just better.